So in order to change the headlights on this 2007 Nissan 350Z, you have to remove the bumper skin. And to do that, you've got to jack up the car, remove the tires. It takes a 13/16 wrench socket to remove the lug nuts. You also have to take off 10mm bolts that are right here, 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 and here on all three, and the same thing on that side, on the passenger side. And then when you get those bottom 10mm bolts undone on the front of the bumper, you can take the inner fender and just bend it back out of your way like that, so that you can get to these 10mm bolts. There's two of them, one here and one here, and that holds this part of the bumper skin to the fender. So these are the ones that were on the bottom of the fender, bottom of the bumper, sorry. And these are the ones that were up connecting the bumper to the fender up here. I don't know if you can see it, but it's so sunny today, it's hard to get the camera to focus right. So they look a little different. These ones are pointier and the threads are different. They're more coarse. And those ones, there's only two of them, so you don't want to, you can't really mess it up. These ones are the ones that were on the bottom of the bumper, and these ones are flatter on the very end, and they got I don't know if you can see that. The camera's being kind of silly, but it's a fine thread. Anyway, I don't know if you can see that or not, but you do that on both sides, the driver's side and the passenger side, and then I'll show you what to do next. Alright, after you get the bolts for the fender connecting to the bumper, and you get the bolts underneath connecting to the inner fender, you come along on the top. There are clips. These clips push in like that. You have to pull them up in the middle like this. And I've found that it's best if you pry on both sides to get it to where it lifts up. So it'll lift up like that, and you just pull them out. Uh-oh, drop that one down inside. Have to get it out. So then after you do that, then the fender, or sorry, the bumper, I keep saying the fender, but it's the bumper. This is the bumper we're working on. And I keep saying the wrong thing. Make sure this is loose. It looks like I gotta take off this bolt too underneath here. Maybe. Oh, I lied. It's not this one. It's not this one. It's this one. So I gotta remove that one too. So there's actually 3 bolts under here, not just 2. So once you get this bolt out, in addition to all the other ones I've told you, this is a 10mm, just like all the others. then you can just, and it folds forward. So at this point, you don't really need to take it all the way down, but if it comes down like this, which is fine, you get your little clip you dropped. I put it on a cardboard so it doesn't mess up with all the paint. And then you move on to actually removing the headlights and installing the new ones. I wanted to show you a quick comparison. So this is the new headlight. This is the one we're replacing. We have the front bumper off. This is a passenger side, so it'll be identical to the driver's side, just everything is a little bit swapped, like a flipped. This is an outside bolt, which if you look, that same bolt is right here. You remove that, and then in the bottom there's a bolt here and a bolt there on the headlight. So you remove this bolt and that bolt. Sorry, it's kind of hard to see, my finger's in the way. That bolt right there. So if you can't get to that with just like a ratcheting wrench, you could take this bracket off, which is two 10mm bolts, to give you more access to it so you're not fighting with it. And you remove this one right here on the top. So there's 3 bolts that hold this, 4 bolts that hold this in place, the side, the top, and 2 on the bottom, and then the connections, the wire connections. That's an exact replacement headlight, and we got it from Depot Auto Lamp, and I'll show you the part number so you can use the same one if you want to. I don't know what's with my lens today. It's been, I don't know, sorry, dirty or something. It's not really focusing. Plus it's super bright today. Sorry about all that. Anyway, so we're going to take that apart so we can replace the headlight. And it's the same exact way on both driver side and passenger side. Okay, so you got the 4 bolts, all 10mm. Remember, top, side, 2 on the bottom. I removed the bracket. I took the inner bolt out and just loosened the outer bolt so the bracket fell down out of my way so I could get to this bolt way easier. After doing that, it's loose and you can just lift it and pull it out. So there's not a lot of room, but you have connections. Obviously this is one of them here on the bottom. So I'm gonna actually push it back in. Sorry. And this is just a pin, a push connect. So you should be able to push it down in and pull it down. I'm going to use a flat blade screwdriver to help me, if I can even get it in here. I might not be able to because this inner fender's still in the way. See if I can get to that and get it off. Alright, so here's the clip. It can be done without pushing the inner fender out of the way more. What I did was, it's up in there like that. I took my screwdriver from the bottom like this and I pushed in like that and pulled down here and it popped right out. And then when you have that off, You should be able to just pull it up and out. Awesome. Old headlight is out. New headlight is going in. You can take this plastic off like all the way. I would suggest that you pull it off around the edges before you install it, and you could still like keep it on the lens so that your dirty hands don't get all over the lens if you were worried about that. And that way it makes it a little easier to take it off after it's installed, and it's not like hanging out funny in places. So I'm gonna put the new one in. There's the new one, just getting ready to be bolted down. So right now I just have it kind of sitting here. It's not bolted down. I have one bolt holding it right here. There is a shorter bolt out of the 4 bolts. This shorter one goes on the sides, on the side like this. If you don't remember, it doesn't. This is the only shorter one out of the 4. And then don't forget your clip, so that you don't have to worry about taking all this apart again just because you forgot to connect the harness. That would suck. So you line it up, you should be able to just push it right in. This is a little harder because the whole headlight isn't actually bolted down yet, so it's wiggling. Let me push that in. Alright, I got the harness in. I would make a suggestion that after you get the harnesses mounted and the headlights in, before I'd put all this back together, I would test them just to make sure your bulbs are good and everything, because this is the same procedure to take off or replace a headlight bulb. So if you're not replacing just the whole headlight and you just want to replace the bulb, I don't know if you can see it because it's so sunny out here, but this cap, let me see, let me move into the shade a little bit so it's easier to see. So this is the back of the headlight housing, and you have to do all the same stuff just to change out one of these bulbs. If you don't do all the same stuff to change out one of the bulbs, which the bulb is behind this is the headlight bulb, and this is the blinker. If you don't do all of this stuff to get to it, you still have to remove all of this on the inner fender to reach it. So you just still have to remove clips and take the bolts off on the bottom. And so instead of removing the entire front bumper, you'd still be removing half of the inner fender and the tire just to get to a headlight bulb or blinker. Just letting you know. Alright, so this is the passenger side headlight. It's back in, it's bolted. All this other stuff that we already took off, you just put it back on in the reverse. Super simple, and it's not very hard. I do appreciate you watching the video, and I hope that you can like and subscribe it. If you like it, it'll be shared with other people that need to learn this information. And if you have a chance and you want to subscribe, that'd be awesome, and you can get more videos from me in the future that hopefully will help you out. Thanks again, guys. See you later.